Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Black Rose Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Duel Overload. With the release of Duel Overload, we finally got the Crossroads Dragon Link monster, which is a very big help for just some consistency with the overall Black Rose Dragon deck that mixes dragons and plants together into one deck. It was definitely a difficult deck to work on now, especially with Destrudo being banned, which was a big help for our level 7 synchro plays, focusing on some other plays now with more plant monsters, along with the dragon monsters that you can use to make Black Rose Dragon, then banishing the plant monsters to use Black Rose Dragon's effect for, weakening your opponent's monsters and attacking into it, and just being able to destroy everything on the field with Black Rose Dragon helps for just, completely ruining all your opponent's plans they had with their deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I'm running 3 Red Rose Dragon. We have a good number of Rose Dragon monsters in the deck to help with all the different special summons. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can special summon 1 Rose Dragon monster from your hand or deck, except Red Rose Dragon. Then if it was set for the synchro summon of a Black Rose Dragon or a plant synchro monster, you can also add 1 Frozen Rose or 1 Blooming of the Darkest Rose from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Red Rose Dragon once per turn. So this is your setup, along with being able to give you an additional Rose Dragon monster and a spell or trap from your deck to your hand, giving you plenty of pluses for all the investments you may do for your synchro play. Being the level 3 tuner of the deck is also very, very important for just the overall special summoning you can do, with Crossroads Dragon also requiring 2 monsters with different types. You can focus on this being one of the dragon monsters for the summon, and then one of the plant monsters for the other monster used for the link summon of your Crossroads Dragon. For the other Rose Dragon monsters, I run 3 White Rose Dragon. With this one, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard except White Rose Dragon. You can only use each effect of White Rose Dragon once per turn. So it gives you the option to special summon out another Rose Dragon onto the field, but if you control a Dragon Tuner or Plant Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as the synchro material, you can send 1 level 4 or higher plant monster from your deck to the graveyard. So you have all the setup with this card, giving you more cards to send to the graveyard for setting up your plays, or just being able to special summon this card out with ease if you control the Red Rose Dragon on the field, special summoning it out and then being the 2 cards for the synchro summon into your Black Rose Dragon, your main boss monster of the deck. So you definitely need 3 of each of these Rose Dragons for their overall setup they can provide for the deck. As for Blue Rose Dragon, I'm only running 2 of this card. When it's this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Black Rose Dragon or plant monster in your graveyard and special summon that. So if this card's on the field when you blow up the field with Black Rose Dragon, it just gives you that additional special summon, being able to rely on it with the other effects of Red Rose and White Rose Dragon to at least keep your Black Rose Dragon back onto the field after it destroys every other card in the field, giving you 1 more additional monster to rely on. I only like 2 of this card though. It really doesn't help with any other plays. It is searchable with some of the other Rose Dragon monsters in the deck, but other than that, it doesn't really help as much with the plays like White Rose Dragon and Red Rose Dragon do. And to help with more of the Link monster plays, it's not a plant or a dragon monster, but still a different type, so easy for the Link summon, and that is Dark Rose Fairy. If a tuner is special summon, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 card from your hand or field into the graveyard to place this card on top or bottom of your deck. You can only use each effect of Dark Rose Fairy once per turn. So the easy special summon relies on you normal summoning Red Rose Dragon and then special summoning out Dark Rose Fairy. You can have the option to go into your Crossroads Dragon, or even, since you're using a tuner, your Crystron, Halqifibrax, or Needle Fiber for more additional tuner plays using the deck, being able to summon out another Red Rose Dragon, which we'll go over that play in just a bit as well. But I like 3 of this card just for the easy special summoning when you get a tuner out on the field, which is a good amount of the time with this deck also. And for the plant monsters, now moving on to, I run 3 Lone Fire Blossom. With this one, once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant-type monster to special summon 1 plant-type monster from your deck. So you can even just go Lone Fire into Lone Fire into Lone Fire, setting up your graveyard with plenty of plant monsters to use for your Black Rose Dragon, and then going into your Giga Plant, which we'll get to in just a sec. But also just being able to special summon this card with other plays. There are plenty of plant plays you can do along with the Rose Dragons in the deck, just to special summon out your Black Rose Dragon. But speaking of Giga Plant, Plant. I'm also running 2 of this card. It is a Gemini monster, which means you have to normal summon it for the effect. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 insect or plant monster from your hand or graveyard, which we have other spells in the deck to help set this card up for a special summon and then being able to normal summon it. But then you're even able to special summon the Lone Fire from your graveyard you may have used the turn beforehand to special summon Gigaplant, or if it was already in the graveyard, then tributing your Lone Fire for another one of your plant monsters just to keep the plays going as well. I only like the 2 Gigaplant though. The other spell I was talking about is also one of your searchers for the card, which is really all you need for the play for the setup, which we'll get to in just a bit. For additional plant monsters, I run 2 Evil Swarm Mandragora. It's just an easy monster to special summon, especially when you go second against your opponent. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. Just being the special summon to go off of is a big help for sure as well, because then you can normal summon another monster, whether it be one of your dragons or even your Dark Rose Fairy, and have the link play for your Crossroads Dragon right then and there. And I also run the 1 Spore. We don't have Glow Up Bulb anymore, sadly, so this is the 1 plant tuner I'm relying on. You can also try Copy Plant instead of one of the Evil Swarm Mandragora if you just want an additional level 1 plant tuner to go for with the deck. But with the play with Spore, along with its graveyard effect, you can also just have Gigaplant on the field. When it's special summoned and then normal summoned, you can use its effect to summon Lone Fire Blossom back from your graveyard, and then tribute off the Lone Fire to summon out your Spore. And then that is your level 7 play to go into your Black Rose Dragon. And then you can rely on the Spore in the graveyard as well for its own special summon effect. And to finish off the monsters, I just run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's a great hand trap, but also being able to use it as a tuner with some of our non-tuners in the deck to still go into Black Rose Dragon is an added plus as well. And being a zombie type monster, needing the 2 monsters with different types for our Crossroads Dragon is just the additional plus as well with this card. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. The 1 spell that is searchable with Red Rose Dragon and just overall helpful for our setup in the deck is Frozen Rose. You send 1 face-up monster to control of the graveyard, apply this effect depending on the type it had on the field. Plant during the end phase, draw 2 cards, then discard 1. So more graveyard setup with this one. Or non-plant, add 1 level 4 lower plant type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Frozen Rose per turn, but being able to add Lone Fire off of this card is a great help for sure. And then also just being able to have the draw power when we use the plant monsters all together comes together very, very well for some of the discard of some of our other cards also. And I also run the 1 Black Garden. I feel that's all you need because your Garden Rose Maiden, another one of our synchros we run in the deck, searches out when this card is special summoned. So you really don't need any more of this card, just helping for the overall special summon of your Rose tokens onto the field, being more plant monsters to summon out, and then just being able to rely on those to fill up your opponent's board and then attack into those monsters also. And for the new spell, I'm running 2 Rose Bell of Revelation. I might bump this up to 3. If I do, I might take out some of the other numbers for the remaining spells we have. With it, you add 1 plant monster with 2400 or more attack from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 plant type monster with 2400 or more attack from your hand. You can only use 1 Rose Bell Revelation effect per turn, only once that turn. So if you have the Gigaplant in your hand, and this card's already set up in your graveyard, which you can even set it up in your graveyard with cards like Frozen Rose for the discard at the end of your first turn, let's say, and then drawing into the Gigaplant, setting up the Rose Bell, banishing the Rose Bell to special summon out the Gigaplant, and then having the special summon effect of a plant type monster from your hand or graveyard just goes more into the Lone Fire play. But the fact that you can, turn 1 also just search with the Gigaplant with this card, and then go off of your Rose Dragon play turn 1, and then turn 2, banish from the graveyard to special summon the Gigaplant play, and then rely on its normal summon Gemini effect from there. You have plenty to go off of with the Rose Bell Revelation in this deck as well. And for some of the other spell cards, I run 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This is help to set up the Rose Bell Revelation in the graveyard if we already have the Gigaplant in our hand to use, or even Blooming of the Darkest Rose, which I'll get to when we go over the trap cards for the recycle power you can do with your Black Rose Dragon in the graveyard with this trap as well. I only feel you need the 2. I even consider dropping one of them for a 3rd Rose Bell Revelation, but decide to keep it at 2 and 2 for all the cards in the deck. And for some of the one-ofs, I run one Foolish Burial, more graveyard setup with a lot of our plants, especially if you can set up Lone Fire Blossom or Spore in your graveyard, then special summon it back with Gigaplant. One Reasoning, we run so many different level monsters, so you definitely keep your opponent guessing with what they declare with Reasoning in this deck. One Monster Reborn for more special summoning with your graveyard, or even your opponents, depending on the resources they have. We only have the one Instant Fusion now, but being able just to have that resource to go into for an additional monster definitely does help. And the one Pot of Avarice to recycle back resources after we've used them into the graveyard to re-special summon cards out on the field and just give us more draw power also. And then to finish off the traps, just the 3 Call by the Grave. You do a lot of special summoning, especially from the deck, or even just setting up in the graveyard, so you don't want your opponent's hand traps to stop any plays you may potentially set up with this deck. And that is it for the spells. Moving on to the traps. The only trap I'm running is 2 Blooming of the Darkest Rose. You special summon Rose tokens in defense to either field up to the combined number of cards in the field zone and field spells in the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Black Rose Dragon or 1 plant monster in your monster zone. Banish it. If you do, place this card on the bottom of your deck. During the next standby phase, return that banished monster to the field. And you can only use this effect of Blooming of the Darkest Rose once per turn. So with this card, it just gives you options to get back your Black Rose Dragon with that graveyard setup. That's why I like running the Foolish Burial, because then you have the option for sending this card or for sending your Rose Bell of Revelation, depending on the card you go for with the deck search. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run 3 Black Rose Dragon, being your main go-to card in the deck. When it's Synchro Summon, you can destroy all cards on the field. Once per turn, you can remove from play 1 plant-type monster from your graveyard to change 1 monster your opponent controls to face-up attack position and reduce the attack to 0 until end of phase. So with that, you can just swing into that monster after you use Black Rose Dragon's effect, and having plenty of plant monsters in the deck to banish helps as well for this card, and just being one of the easier synchros, being very generic and relying on your Rose Dragons to easily summon this card out onto the field also. And I also run the 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon just as an additional Black Rose monster for more of the special summon stopping with your opponent, and also just being able to bounce cards out onto the field. And I run 2 Garden Rose Maiden. You just need, it's a level 5 synchro, 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. If this card is special summon, you can add 1 Black Garden from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Rose Dragon monster or 1 Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use each effect of Garden Rose Maiden once per turn. More special summoning setup is the Black Garden search as well, which is why, like I said, I only run the 1 of that monster, but being able to summon this card out quite easily as well for using the Dark Rose Fairy monster, and then our Red Rose Dragon for an easy synchro summon of this card. It all depends on the play you want to go for also with this deck. But having additional dragon monsters, I also run the 1 Samsara Dragon of Rebirth, 1 Cyberse Quantum Dragon, and we can do it with the Spore tuner, 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon after making Black Rose Dragon is a big help as well, and 1 with Trishula now being 1 on the ban list, but still very, very useful when you can have the 4-3-2 setup of your monsters in the field to go into this synchro also. And for the Link monsters, I run the 1 Crossroads Dragon. This is our new Link monster in the deck. During the main phase, quick effect, you contribute this card and 1 plant monster to special summon 1 Rose Synchro monster or plant Synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a Synchro summon. If a monster from your extra deck is treated with this special summon, you can special summon 1 Rose Dragon monster from your graveyard, and you can only use each effect of Crossroads Dragon once per turn. More setup with this card, relying on the tribute of this card and another plant monster you may control to special summon 1 Rose Synchro monster or plant Synchro monster from your extra deck, and then treating it as a Synchro summon. Very, very useful. It just helps depending on the setup of all the different Rose plant monsters and then the dragon monsters to quickly go into Black Rose that much easier. And then also, while it's in your graveyard, you can banish this card to special summon a Rose Dragon monster for more plays to continue also. And then for the rest of the Link monsters, I run 1 Crystron Halqifibrax. For the tuner setup, especially with Red Rose Dragon, it's a big help for sure to just summon out this card and then special summon your Red Rose Dragon onto the field. And then if you control it, you can special summon White Rose Dragon also, and then go for the play into your Black Rose, which I'll show the combo play at the end of the video as well. And then also I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn, just additional Link plays if you need them for the assistance for the deck. And the 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp to go with the instant fusion play for the deck. But your main go-to play with the Needle Fiber, you also have the option to use the Crossroads Dragon for this play, depending on which one you want to go for. But it all depends on the setup with your Red Rose Dragon, with this card being able to search out cards for the Synchro play, but also your main go-to play for summoning out Black Rose Dragon using these cards. If you open up the Dark Rose Fairy and the Red Rose Dragon, being able to then give you the option for additional special summon plays. You can even just have these two cards and the White Rose Dragon in your hand. So what you'll do is you'll normal summon the Red Rose Dragon, and then when it is summoned out for that play, being able to control the White Rose Dragon after you control that card is an additional help as well for that summon, and then being able to synchro, or like I said, go into the Link to play. Depending on how far you want to extend your plays as well, you can go right into the Black Rose Dragon play and blow up your opponent's board, or if you want more summons to rely on, you can Link summon into your Crystron Halqifibrax, and then after this special summon for this card, you can also then special summon out your Red Rose Dragon using this card, and having that card out on the field, you can then use the effect of Dark Rose Fairy to special summon that monster out onto the field, and then being able to go into your level 5 Synchro play, being able to summon out your Garden Rose Maiden, which will then be able to let you search out your Black Garden into your hand, and then also having the Plant Monster already on the field, along with the Scent special summon effects of your White Rose Dragon if you control, being able to special summon that card. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, being able to use it as that Link play. Additionally comes in effect if you go for the Synchro play, but having the Garden Rose Maiden, being able to then go for another Link play into your Crossroads Dragon using the Garden Rose Maiden and your Crystron Halqifibrax for that play, relying on the Crossroads play, then being able to search out and use the next turn play for your Rosebell Revelation to search out your Gigaplant, and then next turn special summoning out the Gigaplant, working well together for the tribute of your Crossroads and Gigaplant into the Black Rose Dragon play. It all depends on how much you want to set up in your graveyard. Most of the time, the easy play can just be the Black Rose Dragon, but it all depends on if you want more board setup or if you just want to destroy everything on your opponent's field. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.